Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
you're jinx. Um, yay. So I don't know if do you remember meeting me at Indoc? I mean, that's actually where we met first. So I came in '99, and I remember. I think you were already a grad by then.
Oh
So
shit.
for yeah, so for I'm pretty sure you were already grad. So as you so for all the people that don't know, that building doesn't exist anymore where we're talking
Yeah, no,
about. But it
it's
was,
sad.
but
It's sad.
yeah,
It
but
is
it
sad,
was it
yeah.
was three
Third
floors.
floor. Hmm.
Yep, and the third graduates were always on the third floor, and if you were a currently going through InDoc or you were in a prep team, you were on the first and second floor, and you never ventured up to the third floor. Like that was just a
Not unless you
thing.
wanted that smoke. If you
Yeah,
wanted that smoke, you went up to that
yeah,
third floor. That's what
Yeah,
that
you
third
did.
floor was for.
You
That
asked
was there was a
Carlini, he went through it twice because he went to the third floor.
yeah.
and there was a very distinct hierarchy. We're going to talk about hashtag make great again because it's one of my favorite hashtags that's out there. But man, back in the day, like that was the thing is you policed your own. Like if you were a grad and you were, there was a brand new student. Listen, it wasn't hazing, okay?
No,
It was
it was.
students who were a little bit further along in the pipeline than you, showing you how to do the exercises
It
correctly.
was
That's what that was.
mentorship and character development. Come on, guys.
Peer development. That's what it was. It was peer-to-peer development without any of the rules that the cadre had to follow because they were nowhere to be found. That's what it was. And that third floor, that's where that smoke happened.
Yep. And there was no way that I would ever tell any stories about what happened
I would
on the
never
third
tell
floor.
any story. You
Nope.
keep that to yourself.
Yeah.
You keep that peer-to-peer mentorship to yourself. So, At, let's talk about those old days at Indoc because you were there. It's crazy to have people that got in when you said pre 9/11, and I was in that very first push over there. That's a crazy thing. And now we're 20, 21 years, 22 years removed from that entire thing. What was Indoc like back then, especially because you ended up becoming an instructor and going back to those buildings as an instructor? What was it like back then?
Yeah, man, it was. I mean, it was awesome. At the time, you're as a cone or a pre-cone on prep, whatever, you're nervous and you're just trying to get through it. But by the time you're a grad, it is like you're living. Like Peaches is saying, you're on that third floor. It was like a hierarchy. Like the basement floor, your shoes are in the trees. You're a prep kid, your stuff is in the sheet. And when I say your shoes,
Permanent wedgies. You're just walking around like worrying about who's going to give you a swirly next. It's
I
terrible. It's like
literally
high school.
mean your shoes are in the trees. Like the kids would come over from BMT. We were grads, and we'd be hanging out the third floor window, and it was like fresh fish coming over. It was like a fraternity.
Oh my god!
And
It was
they're still marching. They're phase one, whatever. I just straight out of BMT. They still got their hair zoomed up, and they'd be in formation. Ground your boots outside, go inside, get a briefing from the blue rope NTL, and then we'd sneak down the side door and tie all their boots together, throw them in the tree. And you have like a human cone tower, like going up there trying to fish them out. It was amazing. And then there was hey, come up to the third floor for a free haircut or, for the intro. And then, you'd miss a CQ kid for like 2 hours and be taped up in the closet. That never happened.
Listen, that never happened. Again, it wasn't hazing. It was peer-to-peer mentorship.
Man, I think it was great, because just there was like a camaraderie. There was a, pre-team, team, and then, nobody messed with the team. That was kind of like a unwritten rule. Like you never mess with the actual team that's going through the course right now because they're getting it every day from the cadre already. So, just leave them alone. They're just trying to recover and not get injured. But, once you're like kind of that student out of training or just awaiting training or fresh meat, like I said, prep guy, it was game on. But, the pipeline in between schools. Back then, it was like I think Rod Alney was like the pipeline manager. He was driving around in his truck, and he's like, "Hey, you, what are you doing, Cone?"
He's the littlest PJ.
He is the littlest PJ, and
he had that Volkswagen, and he had that like old Tacoma or whatever it was, like with 37-inch tires compensating, for him. So. But how you
I don't
doing,
even know
Rob?
how he got. I don't even know how he got into it. Was it a trampoline sort of a deal, or was there like a lift? I don't even know. Like, because he's
there was like
2 feet tall.
Climb that one of the old ropes that comes tied to his.
100%. And then,
it was awesome because that guy he'd manage the pipeline. Him and somebody else with that little building that's probably no longer there as well. But you would get your orders straight out of Indoc, and for the most part, I mean, it was pretty quick. Like you would maybe have a couple days off, and you go straight to Key West, and then that was the big kind of goals. Like get get fresh grads from team while they're still, in turbo shape down to dive school and crush it.
Away.
And then you come back and you got that bubble. And, you think you're fucking God, invincible at that point, walking over to main side Lackland, like, yo, what's this?
Oh, no.
Nobody knows what it is.
You're just going up to random chicks at the BX, like, oh, what's this on my uniform? Can you see that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Apparently, this is a big deal. I don't know. I guess I'm a big deal.
Well, I got to skip ahead and tell you a quick story about that. So
here we go.
Years later, here I am going to pilot training, and the pilot training, it's kind of like, you're brand new, you're a lieutenant again, so you're starting over. And day one of pilot training is you got to wear blues. It's kind of a hazing thing, right? So we all show up. And
nice.
There's this
best possible scenario for you,
right? Yeah. I'm in there, look like a goddamn Mexican general, because I'm wearing my blues against all these brand new ROTC kids, academy kids. There's like one other, not prior guy, and our class leader, if you want to, or whatever you call proctor, is a first assignment instructor pilot. Like she is
that's called a FAPE, everybody. First assignment instructor pilot. What that means is you were such a good student that they asked you to be a student. It's like it's like you live on that third floor of that dumb building, except you're a pilot.
Yeah. So she's exactly. She's got about 10 hours in the military after getting her own wings, and she's in charge of this bunch of knuckleheads. And really her main job is to get us from point A to point B to the real instructors.
Sure.
Anyway, she would introduce yourself, tell me about yourself, and she's going down the line, and she gets to me, and she's like, "What is that?" I was like, "What did you do?" I was like, "I was an in-flight missile mechanic." She's like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, I used to work on the B-52."
In-flight missile, like, get out of here.
I shit you negative. So I'm like, "That's what the badge means," and she goes, "Oh, yeah." I go, they sent me to jump school because some guys, Bob fell off one time. He was climbing out in the wing trying to fix the GBU-38, and he fell off. So now we all go to jump school.
What is wrong with you? Why are you like this to people?
We had her going for probably 20 minutes. So, yeah. Anyway, back to Indoc. The pipeline back then, I'm just saying, you got your bubble. You think you're the shit. You don't know anything. And, then you got the free fall or jump, free fall, whatever. It comes, whatever the order is. And then we had SOMSI back in the day. So for the PJs, for those of you who don't know listening, we all used to go, it's been all over the place, the whole medical part of the pipeline. But at that time, we were going to Fort Bragg with the 18 Deltas, with the Ranger medics, and who else was there at the time? I think there was some corpsmen or something like that. So, I mean, that was probably the biggest chunk of the pipeline post Indoc before you got to what they now call PJU or the apprentice course, was that medical portion. And the Army, of course, makes everything a freaking, attrition course. They were like, hey, you roll in for a medical scenario, you got rolled back to day one because you didn't say high flow 15 liters per minute, even though you put the damn mask on the dummy.
Right.